Hello guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, we'll solve the question wiggle sort 1. Alright, so we'll solve the question in Java, and I will first explain you the question, and then we will try to approach the question, then we will optimize our approach, and then we will write our code. So let me first take you to the open board, and then I will explain you the question. So the question is, we are given with an unsorted array. Alright, so we are given a unsorted array, that means a random array or unsorted array, you can say anything, a random array, and we have to reorder it in place such that array of 0 should be smaller than array of 1, and it should be greater than array of 2, and it should be smaller than array of 3. Alright, so what we have to do, we just have to create this sorted manner from our array. Alright, which will be given like this, and some elements inside this. Alright, so we just have to get this manner. Alright, so if I take an example, let me take an example and then explain you again. If I have an array which is A, B, C, D or E, then what I have to do, I have to place it like this, that A should be smaller than equal to B, and B should be greater than equal to C, and C should be smaller than equal to D, and D should be greater than equal to E. So this is our correct answer. Alright, this is wiggle sort. Alright, so I hope you understood the question, and we have given one more thing, that we have only time complexity of order of n. Alright, so firstly we will not think about this all. We will just try to solve the question, and then we will see how can we optimize it. Alright, so if I have given example that let me take an array of let me take it 5, 8, 7, 6 and 10. Alright, and if this is the array, so can I first sort it out? Alright, so let me first sort this array, and then we will see it what happens. So if I will sort this array, I will get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Alright, so this is the sorted array. Now can I keep two pointers here? If I will keep two pointers here, one at first index and one at last index, and then can I write my answer as, firstly, and yes, yeah, I will create my answer array, a space, extra space, inside which I will store my answer. Alright, so what will I do here? I will first place my ith index, 5, or let me write it with green pen, 5. I will place my first index, that is on I. Alright, then I will place a index which is on J. So I will place the index which is on J. Alright, so let me write, sorry, let me delete this 10 and write it with another pen, so it will make you understand easier. Alright, so now I have placed my I and J values. So what will I do? I will increment my I, or let me write it with another pen. I will increment my I and decrement my J by 1. Alright, so what will I do? I will delete this, increment by I by 1 and decrement my J by 1. So I will write, now I will place my I here, and then I will place my J here. Again I will increment my I and decrement my J, and I will get that my I and J are at same place. So I will place my I and J, any one of them, I will place it in the array. So what will I get? Will I get correct answer? Yes. How? My 5 is smaller than 10, 10 is greater than 6, 6 is smaller than 8, 8 is greater than 7. So I got my correct answer. Alright, I got my correct answer. This is what wiggle sort is. But there is a problem. If I sort this array, it will take complexity of order of n log n, which is way too more. And if I create my answer array, it will take a space complexity of order of n. So this is also a lot. Alright, so I do not have to create a extra space for storing my answer. I have to just sort it out inside that only. And I can't sort my answer because it is taking complexity of order of n log n. And we have to give our answer in order of n. We have to use this optimized approach. We have to use another optimized approach which will give us output as order of n. So this is a very basic method, or we can say it will be a brute force method to solve this question. Instead of this, can I use the optimized approach in the same example which will give us order of n? So let me explain you that approach also. But before this, let me tell you one thing. Obviously, if we are creating an array, so it will be inside some indexes, and that indexes will be comprised of either even number or either odd number. Alright, so can I just use that even odd numbers to sort my answer? Alright, so I will create two condition, one for even index and one for odd index. Alright, so my conditions for even index, alright, even index. If I am on my even index, if I place a pointer here, right? If I place my pointer I here, and if I am on even index, what I will check that my index array of I should be greater than equal to array of I plus 1. And if this condition is satisfied, I will swap my values with I plus 1. I will swap my values with the value which is on the other side, or a value which is a plus 1, value which is incremented, or I plus 1. Alright, so what is I plus 1 here? I plus 1 is this element and I is this element. So if there is even index, if I is on even, then can I use this? Of course I can use this. I will explain you further more by why we are using this. Firstly, you can keep on faith on me that I am just creating some formula so that I can satisfy, or I can give my answer. Alright, now what I have to do, if I am on odd index, what will I do? Same condition, just a little difference that this time I want my ith index value to be smaller than the value of ith plus 1 index. And if this is happening, then I will swap the values of both two indexes. And if this does not happen, then I will increment my I. I will increment my I in all the cases. So let me now explain you why I have written this. Alright, so let me shift it downwards. Alright, so I hope it is visible. So what happened here? So I from somewhere did not came. Let me move this I. Sorry. Let me move this I somewhere. Or I will delete this and write this again. Even and odd. Alright. So now what will I do? Let me take a smaller example and then I will explain you. Let me take an array which is consist of 10, 12, 15 and 16. Alright. And let me write the indexes of it. And the indexes are 0, 1, 2 and 3. So what I have done, first what I have to do, I have to check that the index value is even or odd. So I will go and check that the index value is even or not. So it is even. So if it is even, then what I have to do, I have to follow this method. So I will follow this method. Inside this if, I will write array of I. So my I pointer was on here and I plus 1 was here. This was I plus 1 and this was I. Alright. So if my array of I, which is 10, is greater than array of I plus 1 is 12. If my array of I is greater than my array of I plus 1, then I have to swap. But this time this condition is failing, so I will not swap and I will just increment my both values by 1, both indexes by 1, or both pointers. There is not two pointers, there are only one pointer I. We are just using I plus 1. I am just using I plus 1 to demonstrate nicely, alright, to make you understand correctly. Alright, now I will check, I will go at another index for I, then I will check that if that index is even or odd. So I found out that it is odd. So what I will do, if it is odd, so I will use this condition. Alright, so what will I use? If I, array of I, which means 12, is smaller than array of I plus 1, which is 15. So if it is smaller than equal to 15, I will swap the values of 12 and 15. So if this condition is correct, yes, 12 is smaller than 15, then I have to swap the values of 12 and 15. So this condition is correct. So what will I do? I will swap the values of 12 and 15. Alright, very simple. Now I will delete this condition. And what I will do, I will move my pointers forward. Alright, now I will check that on which index we are on second index, and second index is even. So I have to follow this condition, even condition, and inside that even condition, if my array of I was 12, which is greater than array of I plus 1, which is 16, then we have to swap. So is this condition correct? No, this condition is not true. This condition is not true. So we will just delete this out and we will increment my pointer. And whenever I will increment my pointer at last, so my loop breaks, because my I was working till here only, because I was using I plus 1. So did I got my correct sorted manner? So let me try and try to write it. So 10, 15, 12, 16 is 12 smaller than 10 smaller than 15, 12 smaller than 15, 12 smaller than 16. So yes, this is satisfying the condition. That means this is the wiggle sort. Alright, so we achieved our wiggle sort in order of n complexity only. This will take just a order of n complexity. Alright, because we are traversing every element only once. Alright, so we just have to write these two conditions inside a for loop, and we have to traverse it by using for loop. So let me take you to the code and then we will try to solve it. So we will go on Nados and see what is given to us. We are given a wiggle sort function name. We are given an array. Alright, so we wanted an input array, and that array is passed inside our wiggle sort function. Alright, so now what we will do, whatever I have told you, that we have to write here. Just we will create a for loop to traverse the array, an integer I be 0 till array dot length -1, and I will increment my I by 1, which I have incremented every time. Alright, if I have used while loop, then I have to increment it manually, but if I have used for loop, then I can increment it here only. Inside this I have two conditions: if my index is even or if my index is odd. So if my index is even, how will I find that my index is even? I have to just check that my I modulus 2 is 0 or not. If it is 0, that means it is even. If it is not 0, that means it is odd. So I will write my even index condition inside if and odd index condition inside else. Alright. So what will I write in if? What I have to do? I have to just check the condition if my index is even. So I have to check that if array of I is greater than array of I plus 1. So same I will write there. If my array of I is greater than equal to array of I plus 1, then I will swap the values. Alright, so I will create a swap function. So firstly let me create the swap function here. That function will swap values for me, whichever I will send him. Int swap. Inside that I have to take my array, a value A and a value B, and after that I have to create a temporary variable inside which I will place my value array of A index. Inside my array of A index I will place array of B index, and inside my array of B index I will place my temporary variable. Alright, so this will swap my array, and I do not want to return something. I will just write it as void only, because whenever I will swap, it will be swapped in my original array only. I am not creating a different array, so I do not have to return anything. So what will I pass inside my swap? I will pass my array, my I and I plus 1. Alright, and I will copy this same condition for my else part also. For my else part also I will place my same condition, just I will change a condition that it should be smaller, I should be smaller than equal to I plus 1. If this is okay, then I will swap my values. Alright, so this was just the code of wiggle sort, and let me run this code and see if it works or not. Alright, so it is successfully compiled. So now I will submit it and see how many test cases are passed. So yeah, all 4 test cases are passed. So that means my code is correct, and I hope you understood this video. If you understood this video, please like the video, share it with your friends, and do subscribe our channel. And if you have any feedback for us, do leave it in comment section, and we will meet in the next video. Till then, thank you so much.